Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to see if in fact getting 2 hives was the right answer. So we think we need to do a little bit of switching around, and we're going to see what's going on in the hives. We want to look for the queen. We want to see how much food they have and where they're laying eggs and where the brood is, and so we can make adjustments as needed, because the closer we get to winter, the more we need to build them up. So I think we're going to do the right thing today. We'll see. Best thing about having a beehive, it's just a little kid in me. I love fur.
I think I've been in here since you put the little box on top. These guys are really kind of deep in the frames here. Nobody's really sitting on top.
They're building some comb with it.
So this side, not really.
They got some. Look at that frame.
The next
Pull
one
that frame
over.
out.
I like these little frames. They're a lot lighter to hold on to. So like all that white right there
That's all
is
new,
comb.
fresh comb that they're building. They're doing a really good job. I guess putting the wax on the plastic frames helps.
I'm gonna set it down mega gentle so that I won't squash anybody. So what do we want to look for in here?
We want to find the queen.
Okay.
So
Do we want to take out an end frame just to have some space to work
yeah,
with?
put the hanger in.
Alright. Good night. Alright. So we'll talk to get out.
So
I
what is
see some cat brood.
Yep. You got cat brood. You got
See.
some larvae, pollen, honey, nectar. It's probably sugar water.
And just the clear looking dark is sugar water.
Probably. Well, I don't know, because it's starting to get into a fall flow maybe. There's the queen.
There she is. Right with her little hot pink dot.
So we got some larvae, so that's good. So we know we've got the queen and we've got a lot of nectar in here. But we got some dry cells, right? Do you see any eggs? You should see eggs.
Those are really hard for me to see.
Yeah, those are 2 to 3 day old eggs. Okay, so go ahead and, since the queen's on here, let's find her again. I think she went on to the other side. Yeah, she's right there, so go ahead and put that one back in. Oh boy, that's a frame.
Lots of little babies. Lots of cat brood.
Yeah, full cat brood on that side.
Pretty much.
And you got a lot of nectar in there too, see?
So is the nectar just the
Well, so the
clear liquid?
Yeah, so the issue is she can lay, but they're gonna backfill. So we wanna make sure that they have enough room. All right, so the whole thing about this is we wanted to make sure that there's enough food, because the blue hive, we actually had an overfeeding situation, so we're not even feeding them at all. And we want to see exactly how they're doing, because we can take frames out of one and put into the other. So we could take an egg frame or a brood frame, put it into the top box of the blue hive, and then take a food frame and put it back. But as of right now, it doesn't look like we need that. So we're going to see how that's going to go. We want to make sure that they keep building that comb on that other one, because as of right now, they're going to continue to get packed in there and overcrowded essentially until they start getting combs built on the other frames. So on the second brood box we have on the medium. So we're just trying to manage that right now, because the last thing we want this time of year is to have them swarm. But we pulled a couple frames and we didn't see any cups or any swarm cells or anything, so we should be good to go on this hive. So we're going to pull the second hive, the blue hive, and see what's going on with there, because the queen had moved up into the second brood box. So we want to see what's going on there, and then also put our eyes on her today, possibly. I hadn't seen her in a couple weeks.
It's so hot right now. Tending to the bees. We got to tend to a storm coming up this way. Something with an I.
I can't say the name yet. Idalia. Idalia. Keep on like Vidalia.
Oh, Vidalia.
It's the onion storm. They do not want to build this out.
So have those frames been in as long as the orange ones?
Yeah. I guess you just can't make bees do what they don't want to do. Let's see what we got going on here.
So what's that grate?
This is the queen excluder, in case they decide to give us some honey. So these are the Apivar strips for the mite treatments. So last time we were here, the queen had come up in here and laid eggs. So we should see some brood, or larvae at least.
What color is your queen marked?
She's yellow. It was the only marker that we had. I think she's technically supposed to be red. So they've really built this out since last time. That's good. So that's a fresh frame that the queen could theoretically come start laying in if she wanted to. But they started capping that. That's not honey though, that's just like that sugar water stuff, so. See, that's full of nectar. So that's like one of those frames we could have put in the other one if we needed to. So this is the box that we had melt last week. It was so hot. And this frame is new. So they've been filling it, building it and filling it. So what I did when I came out here, I was just looking for some eggs. See, Mr. Paul, I have a flashlight. So what I did is I came out here with the frames that they hadn't built, and I checkerboarded them, so they were on the outside. So what I did is I moved them in the middle and every other frame. And I did that because they weren't building eggs yet, or they weren't laying eggs in there really. So when we did that, it'll cause them to build the comb, supposedly. And they did. They built 3 frames of comb, deep frames, which is why they're not building the medium, I would have to suspect. But we are coming across more eggs and larvae in these frames. So we're definitely, it's clearing out. There's not as much food in here. And my first thought is to go ahead and feed them to build more comb, but at the same time they still have a lot in these frames. And so I'm thinking what I'll do, and so here's where the storm management comes in, which as far as bees and stuff goes, I don't really know a whole lot other than protecting the hive. But from what I understand, we can take what I might do is come out here for the storm, and when I tie them all down, I may come in and put some of the 1-to-1 nectar in there. So on the rainy days that are ahead, we're supposed to get like 2 or 3 days of rain. We can also get I got some crazy comb building up right here. We can also I can give it to them so they have something to do in the weather. There's our queen.
We were listening to the bees whisper. She's coming down the front now.
Where's she at?
She's right there. Lots of brood.
Yep. Larva, brood, honey, pollen, bee bread. Let's flip it to see. A little bit of drone, larva. Lots of brood on that one. That's a good frame.
It's a happy hive.
Yeah, it's definitely a turnaround from what I thought was going to happen. I mean, I didn't think that it was going to go in the right direction, to be honest. And when the queen was gone and everything, I was nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. So this is another one that they've been building out. So they've been building a lot of comb actually, just not where well, I guess this is where I wanted them to. There's no eggs or anything, which is okay, but they're building. Whatever reason to grow a cattle panel trellis, this is it. This is the only piece of shade that's not like right up underneath the bees right now. It's so nice. But no, I'm happy with what I saw. So it's interesting. The blue hive was jam-packed full of nectar. Wasn't sure what was going to go on with that, and to my surprise, since I went out there and checkerboarded those frames in there, it seems to me that they used that stuff to that nectar to start building comb on it, which is good because now the queen's starting to get more places to lay. She's coming up into the top box because there's things, you know, there's cells and stuff. I don't know why I keep saying things. There's cells that are opened up so she can get in there. So we're going in the right direction. And I almost believe that we may want to feed just a little, again, during that storm, just to kind of keep them moving in the right direction. But then the orange hive is filling up with nectar now. So it's like, but they are really building that comb on that next brood box, which we really, really want them to build that comb as much as possible. And since it seems like it's interested in doing it, we're going to move in that direction, keep them building as much as possible. Since the orange hive is, and every day we come out and they're doing their orientation flights and getting ready, they're really growing at a rapid pace. So that's why they're building the comb right now. That hive is probably about 3 weeks ahead of the blue one with the new queen. So she's laying, there's new workers, and apparently it's like right after they're born, they basically are ready. It's like very soon after that. It's the really young bees that build comb. And so that's why I think we're seeing them build more and more comb. And so it could go on to be for the next hive too, why they're starting to build more is because they get younger bees. I think the older bees will do it, but they got better things to do. You know, there's more for them to do and work on. So that being said, I think that, you know, we're in a good spot where we could hopefully get some comb built for next year. I'd like to get those 2 medium boxes filled up with comb this year. So if the bees do like every other animal and they know when winter's coming and fall's coming, then we're right around the corner from that. And so 2 things can happen now for us as far as I know. We could in fact get a nectar flow, get goldenrod and, you know, the black-eyed Susans, all the fall flowers and stuff, which I do know we have growing around us, but I haven't seen them yet. So for right now, they're still growing, but at some point they're going to start shrinking their colony down. And that's why we want to build them up as much as possible, give them as much nutrition to put into the hive as possible, and then let them pull all of that out, you know, build out that comb and all that stuff. And then hopefully, if they can build some nectar, that'd be great. That way I don't have to feed them as much, or make some honey, excuse me. And we'd be really happy with that. So the whole goal between all of this is, yes, we do want to get honey, but in the grand scheme of things, I would rather have my bees make it until next spring, when I don't want to say we're guaranteed, but it's a pretty good chance that next spring, if we have bees that made it through the winter, we should have a pretty good honey season. Or any honey season would be good at this point, let's be honest. But it's a lot better than taking all the honey this year and leaving them with nothing, and then me having to feed them constantly and stuff like that. I know they can live off that stuff, but that's probably better for them to eat their own stuff that they make. I'm pretty sure of that. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm happy with the way it went. We've got eggs, we've got brood, we've got nectar, we've got honey, we've got larvae, we've got 2 queens that we put our eyes on this time. We weren't just going by eggs. I'm happy, and we're getting comb built.
Goodbye.